from Being in Sync 366 video series. I forgot to put my light on. There I go. How are you? Happy Friday. Try to get the mattress out of the... We got rid of our mattress. Okay, Kiannaa here. How are you today? It's Friday. My name is Kiannaa Sadge, and I guide people to peace. I was trying to think about how I can position this so you can't see the... Oh, well, the mattress. Maybe if I go like this. No? Oh, well. Anyways, my name is Kiannaa Sadge, and I guide people to peace. This is the Being in Sync 366 video series. Okay, today I want to start by saying when we are aligning within, in accordance with the natural laws, we are always going to be addressing your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. Part of that aspect that we want to address always is our soul. So today we're going to be talking specifically about soul wounds. Now, before I go into detail, oh, hey, oh, did you see me? Did you see me trying to move around, John? We're getting rid of our mattress, so we got a new one and we're shipping this one out. So you caught me. Today we're going to be talking about soul wounds, but I'm going to wait for a couple more people to join on here. John, how are you? You're in Florida, aren't you? For some reason, I thought Florida. Okay. So this series is intended to provide alignment within, right? So every topic that I am talking about, I am going to give some practical application that you can kind of do your own work, should you want to, and help you to put in regular practices every single day to go into alignment with the natural laws, because that's what governs all of energy. Why don't most people know about the natural laws? It's because we have not been told, and we don't study it because we don't know how important energy is. Hello. Okay, John, good thing you're not in Florida. They're having a storm. Hi, good to see you. Just going to wait for a couple more people to jump on here, and then I'm going to go into the content of today. So today I have 3 main specific things that will help you identify what a soul wound is, because a soul wound is very different than a regular wound. And so I'm going to go into why is it different. The other thing I want to say is I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't do anything with medications or big pharma. Everything I do is about spiritual alignment, in alignment with the law of one, the natural laws that govern all of energy. So if that interests you, then this channel might be something for you. If it doesn't, keep it moving. It's okay. I don't take offense to it. The natural law that we're talking about today is the law of correspondence. I've been integrating the law of correspondence into every discussion this week, so you can start to get an understanding of how that law works every single day. Now, we have many laws, and these laws influence us whether you understand them or not. So it's good to have a good understanding so you can navigate your life differently, right? If you want to be strategic, you should understand how energy actually works. This is why all of my team development is so impactful, and I would have other coaches and consultants ask, how the hell do you get such good results? It's because I understand energy, and I understand how things move, and I understand people, and I read nonverbal language. So that helps. Okay, so the topic is soul wounds, and I'm going to give you 3 aspects. I'm going to give you an example, and we're going to talk about how the law of correspondence interrelates with this particular aspect. So soul wounds are different than regular wounds. How? Specifically, your soul wounds will be related to your purpose for being here, like your life. So if you are feeling lost, this would be one of the reasons why. The majority, if not, I feel very confident in saying the vast majority of all men that have, what do you call it, midlife crisis, what they call midlife crisis, is a soul wound. It is something that has not been healed, okay? Women have soul wounds too, but they operate differently. Men wait until midlife to finally say, what am I supposed to be doing here? Whereas women, they are so busy, there's no time for women. It's usually a pivotal life event like a divorce or a massive betrayal that causes them to go into their inner world and really look at like, what caused this? So number one, a soul wound will be connected to your purpose in this life, okay? It's the reason that you are here. Number two, it will impact every nook and cranny, every aspect of your life. It will change how you see everything. So you will view the world through the lens of this woundedness. And so the basic thing is if you choose not to address your soul wound, and you don't even know you have a soul, well, then it will be hard to do that. But if you decide to not do any inner work, which many people choose to do that, they want to just look outside in the material world, that's fine, that's their choice. There is a reckoning for that. There is consequences to living your life like that. And the third thing that you should know about soul wounds is that it often is partnered with something called spiritual blindness. Now, spiritual blindness is going to occur with people who have not done their inner work, right? Well, they have no awareness really of their soul purpose. They have no real awareness of their repeating patterns. It doesn't matter if you've done therapy or not. Therapists don't focus on soul wounds. They focus on repeat customers. They focus on getting you back in for your next session. So soul wounds will be accompanied by spiritual blindness, usually. And, you know, this is what perpetuates the wound and gets worse. Now, how many soul wounds somebody has will be different from person to person. But I thought it would be helpful before I get to the questions to share with you an example of how a soul wound might show up. Now, I'm going to preface this before and say the law of correspondence that we're focusing on today is really about vibration, right? So we are always sending out a signal. The law of correspondence is the signal from the inside submits to the outside. So the inner world creates the outer world, and it's sending out a frequency, a ping. Now, if that ping is distorted with a soul wound, it will change the frequency. So let's just use the example of spiritual blindness, right? Keep that in mind. You're not aware. You're not sure of the pattern. And then all of a sudden, you wake up one day and you realize, oh my gosh, all these people that I have been friends with are fake. I have everybody that's betrayed me, they were really fake people. Fakery and fake, okay? So that's different than a narcissist, okay? So a narcissist wound is not going to be a soul wound. A narcissist wound is a completely different bucket of its own stuff, but it's not a soul wound, meaning it's not why you're here in this life, to get wounded by a narcissist. No. From fake people, potentially. So when you have encounters with fake people and you, spiritual blindness, you had an inkling that they were lying, or you had an inkling that something was amiss with this person. So I have too many examples of this. But that would have been like a soul wound, right? I would keep on having these encounters with these fake people who are liars and deceitful. But a liar isn't a soul wound, fakery is. That's people being fake and misleading and false. That would cause a soul wounding because the spiritual blinders keep you from seeing what is. Okay, that would come from that signal from the law of correspondence that you're sending off that would attract them to you, saying, hey, you could come here and do your fakeness because I'm not going to see it anyways. Now, that might have worked with me like 30 years ago. That might have worked with me 20 years ago. There's no way in hell somebody who's fake is going to get by me. I can spot them because I don't resonate with that. So that's how it works. And it's very interesting. But when you do your own inner work, your soul wounds healing, you then will have access to higher levels of frequency and you will have less and less distortion. That doesn't mean you won't have some distortion, doesn't mean you won't have some conflict, doesn't mean you won't have challenges, but you will not have the magnitude of pain. So, that's one thing I forgot to say, is when you have soul wounds, you will also have an immense amount of pain. The pain is coming from the denial and the lack of awareness, the spiritual blindness, for example, and the lack of connection to knowing, to following, to understanding. So I did it in just about 10 minutes. I gave you oh, Greg, you don't have to stay here. You could keep moving. We don't need you here. And you're clearly not a doctor. Okay, y'all. For those of you who are interested in knowing more about soul wounding, bring it. Hey, Nick, good to see you. I'm going to go through and get your questions. Hello, India. John, my name is Kiannaa, Kiannaa, and .com if you're interested in looking up more information. Good to see you here again, John. Okay. No, we do not believe in Vicodin here. I'm not down for painkillers. If you get in touch with yourself, you can actually eliminate all pain through your presence. I learned that through my own personal experience. Okay, I'm just going to see. I don't have a moderator today, so I'm just going to see. Yeah, this is not therapy. This is energy psychology. Somebody is asking, and why are they fake? Well, that's not even your problem. Why would you focus on why somebody is the way they are? Like, why? What does that do except for put you in your mind? It puts you in the mental banter as to why they do what they do. That is not your business. Why they are fake, why they lie, why they mislead and manipulate is not your business. What is your business is to understand that you resonate with that. So if you want to resonate with something different, then you must acknowledge that they're there because you're resonating in alignment with them. There is an agreement that you have energetically to have that interaction. The moment you heal yourself, that resonance will go away. It's pretty amazing. And I've told so many different stories about this in other videos, so I don't want to repeat another story. But the moment you heal your soul and your resonance and your frequency with the people that you have been interacting with and or had discord with will just simply cease. You won't resonate with it anymore, and they won't resonate with you. Any questions? So how do you understand that people who think Zale, so how do you understand that people who think you are your friend are fake? I'm not sure I understand that. How do you understand? I could feel it. You know when people are pretending. Let's just say, this is another thing, and this goes for those of you who are leaders or managers, and you've been told to fake it till you make it, go do things and pretend that you fit in. People will be nice to you and stab you in the back. Like, those are not friends. So you have to really have some awareness and discernment about how people are. They show you who you are. The problem becomes you don't want to see them, and that's the blindness, right? You don't want to think they're that way with you. Just because they're talking about other people's personal business, just because they're talking about other people to you in a negative way, like gossiping, or maybe they tell you something that they did to somebody else that was nasty or dirty, and you didn't think they would do it to you. That's blindness. That's spiritual blindness. So that's not a friend. They're not a friend to that person, and they're not going to be a friend to you. That is who they are. Your misunderstanding will be thinking that you're different, thinking that you're special. You're not special. You are not special. They will treat you how they show up. So your job is to see people for who they are, not who you want them to be. I want them to be my friend. I want them to like me. I don't need them to like me. I don't care if people like me. If people on this channel don't want to stay and they don't want to be kind or in alignment with the laws of one, I'm okay with them leaving. I'm not attached to people being something that they're not. If this doesn't resonate, keep going. Find what's for you, because there is so many different things out there. But you must understand that your friends and your family, they can pretend to like you and stab you in the back. It's your fault if you don't see it. And understand that that's not really a friend. Does weed help with soul wounding? Great question, because I get asked about pot and CBD and other things. What I will say is it will actually magnify your wound, meaning it will make you more vulnerable to other aspects, because this is the thing about soul wounding that most people don't understand or even understand about their energy. When we use things like weed or CBD or alcohol or ayahuasca or mushrooms, whatever the heck it is, when we use these things, we open up our field. We open up the realms of consciousness, and there is light and dark there. When you are not conscious, meaning you have wounds that are not healed, you are more vulnerable than the person who has taken time to know thyself. So that vulnerability will be a signal to nefarious energies. So it absolutely does not help and actually counteracts any healing. What do I do for a living? I do energy psychology. I have one-on-one sessions, and I work with one-on-one clients. I work with couples. I work with teams. I work with organizations. That's what I do all day. Oh, somebody is talking to somebody else in the chat. Kiannaa, how are you? I am good. It's Friday here. It's been a good day. I started today off with a a silent tea meditation. It was beautiful. Sanjay is asking, is weed good for concentration? No. No. It's actually going to it's going to create more density in your field, which is going to slow the frequency down. So you won't have access to higher levels of consciousness, which allows you to have mental resilience. John, can I go to your channel? You are on my channel. You may. You have free will. Matthew, send me some of your artwork. That's not my artwork. I mean, we own it, but that's not, I didn't do that. Just checking for questions. People are fake, John. I learned I would say that one of my soul lessons was about fakery, for sure. But now I spot it. When I realized that was a pattern and how deep it was and how formative it was in my life, man, did it hurt. But boy, was I determined not to repeat that pattern. I could spot these people from a mile away. Can't get me again. Zachary, yes, I am intuitive. Yes, I am. But I've always been intuitive. I didn't always listen. And that's the key, is how often we don't listen to our inner wisdom. Giving some task to them, if they escape, that means that they are fake. I don't know what you're saying. Zachary, you know the pain. So Zach, here's what I would say. Learn the lessons. The lesson is not just about being able to spot it in others, but it's about changing the signal for you. Because those people are always going to be there, but they will not vibe with you because you will call them out. And they will not like it. They will not like it, but they will keep it moving and they will steer clear. They won't want to come near you. Fake people will not want to come. I don't think I'm a J. What's the other one? I might be. I haven't done that in like 40 years, Zachary, those tests. I am not a proponent of therapy, so this is not a therapy channel. This is about being in alignment. This is about your spiritual development. This is about the natural laws of the universe. It's not about therapy. I do energy psychology, which is really about understanding the patterns energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. This is about healing. This is not about going into your head and talking. So if you think that you need therapy, then go for it. I'm not a proponent of it. I think cigarettes feel good. It removes the stress. Well, there's a lot of data, and you should go look it up. I'm not a proponent of smoking anything personally because it's not good for taking in life force, if you will. So really your lungs. But there is a lot of data for nicotine, and you should go look up nicotine and how good it is for your body. Oh, everybody's putting... So here's the thing about these ENFJs and INFJs. It's really important for people to understand that those are just preferences. That's not who you are. It is just a preference. Okay, Todd is saying the Antichrist, mark of the beast equipment is on the back of his wrist. Okay. Todd, I don't know what you're talking about, but you could take that to another channel. I mean, I agree that those things exist, but we don't need to be in fear. We just know that all things are of God, and source energy creator, so we need to see clearly. Bro, getting high or drunk is not good, only dark. It's very bad for you and lets you escape temporarily, and even then it makes everything mentally worse. It can be very, very problematic for many people. MD. If you think that from today that God sees all your actions, you will see that your life is improving a little bit. I don't think that you need to think about God sees all your actions. Just know that everything that you do is a reflection of your alignment. And if you are not aligned, then you need to realign to the natural laws, and that will be improving every little bit. And that's where we agree, for sure. Hello, Brazil. Okay, if you repeat the same thing over and over again, I'm going to delete your comments. Okay. Temporarily, instead of wasting money on that, I use wasting money on therapy. Instead of wasting money, I don't know where instead of wasting money on that is use that I can change your future. I don't know what you're wasting money on. Nothing removes stress unless you are able to go within. So maybe it's just you taking time to pause and reflect that makes it less stress. And you're assigning that to the cigarette that you're using as an excuse to go find peace. But really, you don't need the cigarette to find peace. You could do it on yourself. See, you do not need to go outside of yourself to find what you are looking for. The cigarette is an excuse. Cal, I have never smoked weed, never felt like it, never wanted to. I don't judge people who do it, but I have no desire to do that. Why? Because it doesn't resonate with me, period. What I do know is I know about the energy field, and I know people who smoke a lot of weed, have a lot of good things to say about it, but that doesn't mean that they know anything about their energy field and how energy is exchanged, and that is the truth. So take that and keep it moving, yeah? Jesse James, what makes me an expert? What are you talking about? On soul wounds? Just that I've been healing them for the last 30, 40 years. I guess that makes me an expert. I don't know anybody else who focuses on soul wounds. Maybe one other person that I've ever met. What makes you an expert, Jesse James, on identifying an expert? How do you identify an expert? I'd be curious of what your criteria is. And if you say it's a degree, you are really screwed. Somebody is saying that weed tore apart their family. Yeah. I don't have any thoughts about anybody in India. My uncle killed himself when he couldn't get his hands on anything else. I'm so sorry to hear that. Suicidal thoughts and spiritual suicide is real. People do not understand how much mind control and nefarious energies are infiltrating their thoughts, and then they make rash decisions, and it's unfortunate. But there's a lot of people that won't be able to stay around here. Zachary, no, I say at the very beginning, I am not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I do not even believe in those dogmas or the schools in which they are trained. I think they are misguided and misaligned away from spirit, away from the soul, and away from any kind of ideology that actually heals people. That's my personal opinion. You don't have to believe me. That's just what I see. So there's that. Mazella, you should do a therapy session with Zachary. INFT is the other one. I can't remember. I've done those. I did those way back in college, and it was pretty spot on. I just remember that it was like, there was one of those ones that was like a 1% of the population, and that's what I was. That's all I remember about what it said about me, and that I was intuitive. Jesse, I answered your question. Do I believe in parallel lives? Yes, I do. Okay. Time out. Hello, Greece. Oh, thank you, funny comedy. Okay, I got all the questions. We're here at 30 minutes, and I got all the questions. So is anybody, I'll wait for a minute. If anybody has a question about soul wounds and healing soul wounds, or the distinctions of soul wounds, anything about the topic today about soul wounding, I will answer, and then we will conclude for today, and we'll be back for another day tomorrow. Do I believe in Jesus? I believe in Christ consciousness 100%. Yes, I do. Do I believe in churches is another question. I do not. I don't have any thoughts about where you should go for a honeymoon. Zero. Somewhere that makes you connect and create beautiful memories together. My thoughts on Hinduism. I studied Hinduism and Buddhism so long ago. My thoughts are, I align very much with some of the gods and goddesses. Like I like Ganesh, and I like green Tara, and I have Black Tara has been really supportive in my healing in many ways. So I connect with the energies of some of the gods and goddesses, but I wouldn't say that I follow any religious dogma, nor do I have any real thoughts about them other than everybody has their own path, and you have to really see what resonates with you. Do I believe in yoga? So I grew up with my mother teaching yoga, and I would say I had a lot of resistance to yoga because I always had to be quiet during that time when my mother was having people over to teach yoga. So this is going back into like the 70s and the 80s time frame. So I have tried to do yoga on and off, and what I have found is in America, I don't resonate with it. I don't enjoy it. It's more, here in the United States, it's more like a workout. It's more for exercise per se. It's not about the Kriya for most, I would say for the vast majority of people. So I didn't enjoy that aspect of yoga. But when I did the inner engineering of Sadhguru's class, And I really enjoyed it. And I did that every single day for probably close to 5 years. I found the inner engineering class really fun. I like Sadhguru. I loved the Kriya that he created for people. And so that's my experience with yoga. I do not personally enjoy yoga as a practice for me. And that I think it's just about a frequency and a resonance. I don't really enjoy hierarchies of these practices that many of, like religion or yoga. I think it becomes very dogmatic, and it really is, I don't resonate with that. If that makes sense to you, that's what I have to say about yoga. Thank you for that question, Jay. That was really interesting. You should experience shamanic therapy. Well, I have a lot of experience with shamanic practices. I have not engaged or even considered shamanic therapy because that's not anything that I need. I have my own connection with the practices, and I don't need another shaman experience. And I do believe that we all have the potential to be shamans. But when we talk about fakery and fake friends, I will tell you that it was a shaman. That was one of my biggest teachers that led me to one of my biggest soul journeys. So I have a lot of experience with fakery and shamanic healing. I am in California. Is meditation useful? I think meditation practice is beautiful to incorporate in your life. If you want to be healthy and have wellness and thrive, I think some type of practice of meditation or reflection is extremely beneficial to your well-being. So, oh, hey, Peter, you're here. Thank you for being here, Peter. So hopefully that helps you about meditation. So I'll just go ahead and recap the soul wounds, do another round of questions if there is any questions, and if there's not, we'll jump off. So soul wounds are essentially always going to be connected to your soul purpose for being here, right? It's going to be connected to your purpose. So if you're feeling lost, and like I said before, if you're a man and you think you're having a midlife crisis, it's always going to be related to a soul wound. I have never met a therapist that even talked about soul wounds. It's usually somebody who is well versed in the spiritual realms that will address these. A soul wound will impact every single aspect of your life, every single aspect. There will be no part of your life that is spared from the pain and drudgery of this wound that has perpetuated throughout your life. So it will just deteriorate. The longer you have the soul wound, it will deteriorate the way in which you experience the physical world. The third aspect that was important around soul wounds is spiritual blindness. This is really having zero awareness of how your patterns are repeating. You're just kind of doing life. You're just doing it and you're not paying attention, and then you're not healing. You're not healing. And then I gave the example of fake and fakery. And I also tied in the law of correspondence into this discussion, because if you have spiritual blindness, you are going to be signaling for these wounds. So those wounds are like screaming for your attention. And if you're not paying attention, well, then you're going to be signaling until you wake up. That's why waking up is hard to do. That's why the dark night of the soul is a dark night, because when you understand how you have been perpetuating your pain, only you can heal it. You could go to a therapist, you could go to somebody like me, but if they're not leading you inward, if you're not connecting within yourself, you're not going to heal. And your healing should be a priority. Being in alignment with your purpose should be a priority, in my humble opinion. Jay is asking, do I believe in reincarnation? Yes, I do. I didn't always, but I do. And I do believe that, unfortunately, when we haven't learned our lessons, we get sent back, unfortunately. And I don't really want to go too much into it, but there are some wounds, I wouldn't say it's a soul wound, but it could be a soul wound, that get perpetuated until you wake up to heal them. And when you heal through the DNA, and it goes all the way through your lineage. So you're not just healing this one physical aspect of yourself, but in other dimensions as well. When you heal your soul, it goes throughout the soul matrix. It doesn't just stay in this physical form. It goes throughout the matrix of your soul. And so there's that. Hello, tell me, spiritual blindness versus trust. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is spiritual blindness, okay, is not having any awareness, all right? So trust is thinking that you should trust somebody else over yourself. So you won't have the knowingness within yourself when you're thinking trust. You're thinking, I got to trust them. I don't trust anybody. My team doesn't have trust. Trust is not an outside game. Trust is an inner frequency. It's an inner knowing, and it's a connection to your heart and your soul. And when we have a connection with our heart, our soul, and our mind, we create congruence. We become more aligned. I hope that helps. Does that answer your question, PN? Oh, so maybe I'm channeling my my inner Hindu. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. You know, when I started doing Ayurvedic practice, which is an Indian organic way of healing, it's the first medicine of probably our planet Earth, is Ayurvedic healing. And when I first started doing Ayurvedic healing, before I had my first meeting with my practitioner, the night before I had a dream, and above me in my dream was all these Indians, you know, doing the head bob and talking to me. And I don't know what language we were all speaking, but we were communicating, and that they were so excited about my journey to begin. So I definitely feel like I have some Indian heritage in some way in my lineage. I don't know how, I don't know why. I haven't gone down that rabbit hole energetically for myself. I just know that when I have been in my darkest of days, I've connected with the Taras and found them to be incredibly supportive and heart-opening. And I don't care what dogma they are ascribed to. The energies of the Taras have been formative to my healing. So I hope that helps you. From where you learned about Ayurvedic. I've been practicing Ayurvedic practices for the last 5 years. I have a practitioner that I work with on a regular, and if you go to my video where I talk about the secret illness, it will tell you that I was led to Ayurvedic because I was desperate, right? The medical practices here were not equipped to contend with what I was contending with. And they didn't know what to do with me, because medical practitioners, they are practitioners, first of all, and they're not healers. and they do not profess to heal anything. However, if you want real healing, Ayurvedic healing, if you find the right practitioner, can be life-changing, as it is for and has been for me. So the secret illness is where I talk about heavy exposure to heavy metals and how that influences you energetically and your frequency. And here in the United States, people talk about heavy metals, but they don't talk about practical ways in which you can cleanse them. And I had tried many ways to cleanse them, and none of them worked. But when I started doing Ayurveda practice, which is very much in alignment with, what I believe and what I experience energetically, it's enhanced my abilities, my extrasensory abilities significantly. So I would say a million thumbs up for Ayurvedic healing if you are inclined to be healthier and be aligned. And now I recommend lots of herbs to my clients if they're open to it. A lot of people aren't open to it. Jay is saying in Hinduism, it says there are 7 chakras. Well, chakras are energy centers, yeah. Circles in your soul that you've closed or been blocked by bad karma. Okay, and negativity. But meditation opens those chakras and can make the body fully positive. Thank you, Jay, for sharing that. I did not have the understanding that chakras was ascribed to Hinduism. So I've always heard of the 7 chakras, but I didn't know that was ascribed to Hinduism specifically. So that's good. I learned something too. Thank you for that. Yeah, and I do think as we're evolving spiritually that the chakras, as you gain higher access of energy, the chakras can merge. That's very new, and that's happening now as the energies on the planet are changing. Spiritual blindness is not recognizing that much of religion. Okay, spiritual blindness is not... can you tell? I have a hard time reading these things. Spiritual blindness is like not recognizing that much of religion is rooted in mythology and astrology. Most people don't want to. So here's the issue, is that when people have, let's just say, God attachments, that's of the ego mind. When you're in the ego mind, you're not going to see that you have spiritual blindness. You're going to be in ego. When you're in ego, you can't see blindness. You don't know because you're in the mind. You're not even open to it. I think Kur Allah is I actually think that that's a herb that's sold here in the U.S. too. Jay is saying he smokes weed and he sees the same. Peter is asking, is soul wounding like a sickness? Can it be passed down to kin or other folks, like a cold? Okay. This is a deep question, Peter, so I really want to be mindful. So there is soul sickness, yes. And a lack of attention to your soul wounding could cause soul sickness, correct. Can soul sickness be passed down? I don't think so. Can karma be passed down? Yes. Can your wounds from one life to another life be passed down? Yes. That's different than be passed down through your lineage. So it can be, and I think you bring up how complex energy can be, Peter, but, and then you says, is it like a cold? No, like, it would be more like a vulnerability to parasitic energy. How's that? So it would be worse than a cold. A cold is something you might feel when you have something called ascension symptoms. Ascension symptoms are those aspects that when you are holding lighter, more light in your body needs to acclimate. And as your body's acclimating, it might feel a little headache or sick or sleepy, but you're not going to be sick. You might just feel not as strong. Soul wounding and soul sickness is actually going to lead you to an illness, a dis-ease. I hope that answers your question. Noel, good to see you back here. Noel, thank you so much for your kind words. I'm so glad that you are enjoying these videos. It makes my heart happy because I really just want to put meaningful content out in the world. I know that's what I look for, and I really just want people to feel like they are seen and heard and that they're not alone. So I'm so glad, Noel, that you're finding this supportive. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Jay is saying people feel pain when the chakra is opening. Well, let's hope that people have their chakras open. Jeez. Okay. Hinduism and meditation is demonic because they feel pain. And they don't know that's their negative energy coming out of their body. People really just don't know about their spiritual aspects. They haven't been taught. They've been conditioned to go away from their spirit. And that's why therapy is not my, I don't recommend it unless the therapist is seeing somebody like me and actually doing their own personal work that makes them have integrity to even do therapy, which I think, you know, many therapists don't do their own work. Yeah, that was a little tangent, but that's my personal opinion. Ayurveda is a whole body, holistic, yes. Ayurveda means Anu. Thank you so much for being here. She's talking, or he's talking about Ayurveda being a whole body system of medicine that began more than 3,000 years ago. Yeah, I think it's the first medicine on the planet. Any questions about soul wounds? Peter, did I answer your question? Sorry, I don't mean to sniffle in the microphone here. Hi, hey, Mel. Yay, good to see you. Thinking of you. Thinking of you. So glad you're here. I think, how are you doing with the storm, Mel? You okay out there? PN is tell me about the science beyond the science. You want me to talk to you about the science beyond the science? You mean the quantum field? Oh, thank you so much, Mel. I appreciate your kind words. Oh, I'm so glad. Mel is saying that she enjoys hearing me speak. Thank you. It makes me look at things in a whole new way, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Mel. I really appreciate your kind words on this Friday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm so glad that you're here live and that you always let me know when you're watching the replay. It makes my heart happy to see you here. And Peter, too. Peter's helping out in the chat. I don't have opinions about countries. Oh, good. Thank you, Peter. He said I answered his questions. Hi, Italy. How do I end my soul pain? First, you have to know what it is. So what I would do, this is a great question, is I would look at your life, honestly, do like a scan. Just like look at the different aspects, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. You'll want to look at health, money, finances. You want to look at and see what patterns are in every single aspect, because your soul wound will be hitting every single aspect of your life. So it'll hit education, it will hit finances, it'll hit your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. It will hit everything, your relationships, all of it. Education, did I say that? Your community. I'm just trying to think of aspects. I think that's it. Yeah, so what you do is do a scan, look at all those different aspects of your life, and then you would want to say, okay, what is a big pattern in this one, in this one, in this area, in this area? And then once you have the pattern identified, you will see it goes through all areas. That would be a soul wound. And how do you heal it? You heal it by acknowledging it, sitting with it, addressing it 100% from your heart. And if you want help, you could book a session until the 1st. I'm running a first time. Whoever comes to me for the first time, I have a very discounted rate. You have to send me an email. A new PN is saying that it's over 8,000 years old. Mel, oh good, I'm glad that you're doing well. Fires, really? Where are you again, Mel? Do I watch movies? Sometimes. I like documentaries, but I don't like a lot of Hollywood movies. I do watch some movies. I should do a video about movies that I like that have a spiritual aspect. Would you guys watch that? Would you want to see that? Movies with a spiritual aspect. Would you like that? But no, I don't normally watch movies a lot. I guess, no. But there's a handful that I like that I would watch again. And I'm just going to look. If there's any questions, I'll answer them, and then I'm going to jump off. Should I start a Telegram group? Would people be interested in that? I'm not sure. Andrea is asking, is this a self-improvement channel? I think that would be a simple way of stating it for sure. This is really about the alignment within. It's about aligning and becoming in sync physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. If you think that's self-improvement, I would agree with you. I just don't normally say that. But I guess I should write that down, because I can learn to simplify things. So thank you, Andrea. New Mexico. Okay, good to know. Thank you, Peter. Okay, if anybody wants to know yourself, come to the Himalayas. I've been to India. I did not go to the Himalayas, but India is not for the faint of heart. Especially coming from America, it's very much a culture shock for most Americans. Mel watched a movie the other day about the death of a father and a family that didn't get along. Once he passed. Oh, yeah. You know, it might be hitting home for you. Mel, if I could give you a piece of advice, I would like to share something with you that I think would help you. I think a lot of people, and this is what I learned from when my father passed away. When I was 23, 23, I had written my father a letter. And the letter I wrote from the standpoint that, knowing that, because I didn't talk to my dad, but I wanted him to know that I had forgiven him of everything. Everything that I thought he did, everything that I thought he didn't do. I just wanted to let him know that I had forgiven him. And I sent that to him, not wanting to have a relationship with him, but wanting him to know that I had forgiven him for everything that I thought that he did or didn't do, and that I wished him well. And I wrote it from the perspective that if he were to die, I wanted to not have any regret, you know? And so I wrote that letter and I sent it to my dad. And then, you know, I think he died suddenly of a heart attack at a very young age, in my 20s, late 20s. And, you know, when he died, I had written him like he was going to die. So I had said everything. And I had no regrets. But I will tell you that I witnessed my brother and my sister in profound pain. And it was profound, heart-wrenching to watch my brother and my sister, who had not done what I had done. And I decided that for my mother, I was going to make sure that they didn't have that issue with my mother. Well, you know what? You can't keep people from their lessons. That's for one thing. But number two, I wanted my mother to know that no matter what, she was loved. Like, I did not want her to leave this physical plane without knowing how much I loved her and how much she meant to so many people. So I wrote letters to all of her friends secretly, and they all wrote me letters telling my mother what she meant to them. And then I compiled it into a nice book and I gave it to her for Mother's Day. So the whole point, Mel, if you're willing to look at this, is write your dad a letter as if he was already dead. And that will change how the process for you goes. Because you said it all. And then you don't have to have any regrets. Because everybody, when people die suddenly, they have regrets. When people are in the process of death or caretaking, there's so much to do that you don't have those conversations because it's uncomfortable or the person's not emotionally ready. My mother and I, we talked all the time. As you could tell, I adored my mother. I can almost cry thinking about her. And in fact, the anniversary of her passing was September 1st. And then her birthday is coming up in December. So I always honor her on those days, no matter what. And I do something that she loved, that we loved together. And so I think it's important to have difficult conversations. I think it's important to live life without regrets, because that helps us align and it helps us avoid pain. And I'm all for alignment and less pain, okay? I'm there for it. So Mel, take what serves you from these videos and what doesn't, leave it behind. But the one beautiful thing about letters is it gives people time to process them, PN is saying, I'm very interesting. What do you find interesting about me? Forgive and forget. Well said. Yeah. Don't forget, but, definitely move on. A free and beautiful mental coach. I don't call myself a coach. I'm a consultant. I'm happy you found the channel, Andrea. PN, not all parents love unconditionally. Some parents use the word love and they have no frequency of love behind it. Okay? Not all parents are unconditionally loving. That's my personal opinion. Regret is regret is something a lot of people struggle with. Do you struggle with it, Peter? I made a vow at 30 that I would not live my life with regrets. So when I was 29, I went into my 30 and I said, okay, Kiannaa, no, you will not live your life in regret. So the first thing I did was on my birthday, I always, for my entire 30s, I did something that scared me every year. Every year on my birthday or around my birthday, I did something out of my comfort zone that would scare me. And so what that does is it just like, it opens you up to new ways of being. Oh, I love that you all are chatting and connecting in here. That makes my heart happy. Peter, okay, shall I do a video on regret? Is that something that's valuable? I'm open to suggestions. Hello, Ricardo. San Diego. All right. I used to live in San Diego. Welcome, Ricardo. So good to see you here. I have lots of clients in San Diego. I don't have any opinions about Indian parents. Chula Vista, yes. I worked a lot at that naval station down there as a consultant. This channel, I have been told this channel is about self-improvement, but really it's about alignment. Physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual alignment. Yep, that's the one. I used to work with a lot of engineers over there. Noel, it's 10:30. Oh, Noel, I didn't know that you were in Ireland. Oh, good night, Noel. Is it Noel? No, Noel. I don't know. Are you male or female? It doesn't matter. I'm so grateful for you being here. Thank you so much. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow. So there's no questions here. So, oh, Ricardo works at Southwest Airlines. All right, good for you. That's a tough job, no doubt. That industry has changed so much. So I just want to say Noel. So it's Noel and it's masculine. Okay, thank you so much, Noel, for being here. I'm Kiannaa Sadge and I guide people to peace. I am here every single day talking about how to help people align to the natural laws. Those are the laws that direct all energy frequencies. So it's important to understand that impacts your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. Every day I'm coming on here and I am going live with content that is meaningful and supportive of you becoming more aligned. I am offering a first-time session discount. If you are interested, send me an email. Okay, Peter, I got regret here. Maybe that'll be, oh, good question, PN. The videos, I come on anytime between 12 and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm learning how to do more YouTube stuff, so I'm trying to schedule them. But I think the topic for tomorrow we have nailed down as regret. So I will be here tomorrow talking about regret, I believe. And Peter, if I missed any of the topics that you asked about, please let me know. I went through and made notes. So I think I got just about all of them, but if I missed anything, please let me know. So tomorrow, say between 12 and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Put your notifications on so you get the notification of the live. The first 5 minutes, I wait for people to come on, and then I tried to do all the content up front, so those of you who want to stay could stay and ask questions, and those people can jump off. And then I jump off from there. So I am at Being in Sync at Kiannaa on Instagram. I've got regret as a topic and how to address that. I talked about the time. Thanks, Mel. You take care. Mental health is a big issue. Mental health is a crisis right now. Okay. All right. So I got it, you guys. Mel, tomorrow, regret. High PN spirituality involves the recognition of a feeling, sense, or belief that there is something greater than myself, something more to being human than the sensory experience. So, I love it. Beautiful, Anu. Thank you so much, you all. You have a great day. I'm Kiannaa Sadge, and I guide people to peace. If you're interested, you can check me out on my website. There's all kinds of videos on here, so go check them out. By the way, we only have 95 days left in the year, so let's wrap this year up on a positive note. So in the next coming months, I'm also going to be focusing on how you can start to prepare for renewal. Cheers to Being in Sync. I'm Kiannaa Sadge. Take care, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Love you. Bye.